welcome, welcome. We are so excited that you are joining us tonight for this necessary conversation around Black maternal wellness. And when I tell you, we have some heavy hitters joining us tonight. We have a group of Black women who are dedicated to making sure Black women and maternal wellness in general is respected and valued and honored, regardless of your walk of life. So, we have wisdom in the room. We have actual doulas and midwives and just sisters down for the cause, down for reproductive justice, down, down, down. And so I'm so honored and so grateful that this skilled group of beautiful, beautiful Black queens have joined us tonight. As a reminder, this is powered by the Boppy Company, so we want to give them a shout out and thank them for being an ally for Black maternal wellness. So thank you to the Boppy Company. And we're going to get this party started and jump right in. I want you guys to hear from the experts themselves. And so I'm going to go around the room and just ask first, Dr. Michelle, tell us who you are and what your background is and the services you provide.
Well, good evening, everyone. As she said, I'm Dr. Michelle Bowden Hammond. We could be here all night for all the different stuff modalities that I have, but the ones that are dear to me, all of them are dear to me. But right now, the maternal health is me being a doula in the prenatal, the post, and even in the death doula stuff as well. So that's why that is a very dear one to me. So on top of that, there's other formalities that I do: a red light therapy, infrared, herbalism, you name it. I got it. We got the remedy for it, but maternal health is my dear close one. Yes.
Nice, nice. Thank you. And welcome, Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond. Mama Virgo, gotta love that name. Please tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about your background and what you do.
Greetings. I am Mama Virgo. I am a traditional birth worker in the DFW area. I am also a mom of four, and I'm passionate in womb wellness, herbalism, just like Dr. Michelle, and overall holistic family wellness.
Nice, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for joining us today. Dr. Cheryl,
Hi,
Queen, please tell us who you are, your professional background, and the services you provide.
absolutely. First and foremost, I'm a divine being. My name is Dr. Cheryl Edinburgh, and I am honored to be a part of this discussion with these other beautiful Black workers, my beautiful Black sisters. I appreciate sharing this space. Black maternal wellness is extremely important to me. Um, the importance of it is the need for a cultural response. And so I'm the founder and director of the Tree of Life Birth Counseling and Wellness Center. I'm also a founder of our nonprofit, Completely Fit. And in both of those organizations, we focus on dedicating ourselves to empowering individuals and communities through education, wellness, healthy lifestyle transformations through mind, body, and spirit. So we offer counseling services, we offer midwifery care, and then we have holistic services, everything from colon hydrotherapy to spectrum sauna to stretching to massage. Um, and we are getting ready to host our podcast in which we talk about all things maternal, whether it be from the dad's perspective, from the mom's perspective, from the birth worker's perspective, kind of just talking about and exposing some of the things that are out here and just kind of uncolonizing the minds. And so thank
Okay.
I'm just, I feel grateful to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. We are so honored that you decided to join us. That's amazing, all the work you're doing. All right, down there in Florida, let's go down to Sister Keisha. Keisha, please tell us who you are and what you do.
Greetings, greetings. Yes, from the sunny state of Florida, and it is very sunny right now. My name is Keisha Jenkins, or Kay the Advocate. I am a full spectrum doula, but I'm an educator by trade. So I like to always start with that because that's how I lead. I am a maternal health and early childhood educator advocate. I That's my background. That's what I do. I am the owner of Birth and Brilliance Collective, where we believe that early childhood begins at conception. And the reason why is that we know that our white counterparts have the luxury of most of them have the luxury of not really worrying about birth, whereas Black women go in automatically scared, afraid, and that does affect the fetus. And so that is our focus, is focusing on mom's well-being mentally, physically, and all. And as a full spectrum doula, I have the joy and privilege of standing between life and death. I work from reproductive all the way to abortion and death doula. And so that is my calling. I would be remiss not to mention my family. I am the mother of four amazing humans and a fiance to a person who allows me to do this work unapologetically.
Shay.
Ashe. Asheo.
Asheo.
Yeah,
Yes. Nice. Well, thank you so much. So let's get this out the way now. We'll do it again at the end, but everybody tells me I need to do this several times. Please give your contact information now, how people can find you, and we'll also give it again at the end. But please, Michelle, tell the people how they can find you if they want to get in touch with you.
So you can get contact with me through the upfront mind, body, and soul.com, or you can reach out to me through my Instagram, which is upfront mind body. And that's how you can contact me.
Perfect. And Mama Virgo, how can the people reach you?
The best way to reach me is through email at owner@mamavirgo.com. I can also add that in the chat, and you can find me on Instagram at mamavirgo825.
Thank you. And Michelle, tell the people what city and state you're in.
I was just thinking that you
Yeah.
on me, you caught me in the spirit realm. Yes, I am in Maryland. I'm in Maryland. Yes.
Okay. And Mama Virgo,
I'm in Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas. All right. And Dr. Cheryl Edinburgh.
absolutely. I can be reached. Usually the best way to reach me is through my executive assistant, Infinity. And her number is 682-551-1377. Our website is simply the name, the Tree of Life Wellness Center.com. You can always call me, 214-912-2614. Yeah, at Instagram, I'm not good with all the technology, but it's Instagram is Tree of Life BCW. That's where you can reach us.
Lovely. And what city are you in?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas. All right. Two Texas representations. All right. And then Keisha, please tell everyone how to contact you and where you're located.
No problem. At K the Advocate on all platforms. That is how you can find me. KAY the Advocate is the best way to contact me through social media.
Okay, great. So let's jump into this. I would like to know what inspired each of you to become a birth worker and what continues to motivate you because we know it's not easy work. We know it's not easy work. So what continues to motivate you? And we're going to go backwards this time. Let's start with Keisha down there.
My inspiration would be my own birth stories, but actually it started in early childhood and realizing that I was working closely with families and helping them navigate the maternal health landscape without realizing it. And I'm a nerd and I love it and I love researching. And so through my research, I actually landed on the Granny Midwives of South Georgia. And I realized, I don't want to be a midwife. No. And so I did a further digging and realized that, oh, okay, there's something that's very close and aligned that speaks more to who I am. And I forgot the second part. What was the other part of the question? I'm sorry.
What continues to motivate you to stay in this work?
I am going to use my birth from yesterday. It was a long one, and we made it through. And mom held her baby at home and birthed the way she wanted to as a redemption to a not so great birth from the first time. And looked me straight in my face and said, I did that. And I said, yes, girl, you did that. So for me, that will always be what continues to push me forward is when my birthing people can look at me and say, I did that and did it their way. Or if it wasn't what the outcome that we desired, we can always process it later. So for me, it's always going to be that I had a hand in their birth stories.
Lovely. I love it. Dr. Cheryl, why don't you tell us what inspired you to become a birth worker and how do you manage to continue to do it?
So, this journey for me is shaped by my lived experience, my personal journey, my deep desire to create a different experience for families, mind, body, and spirit. And I mean from birth to grave, from the cradle to grave, right? Um, just sitting around and watching the dynamics of families, sitting around and watching what substance abuse can do to families. As from a young age, I felt like I was just an observer.
Mhm.
And it felt really strange. I didn't feel like I belonged in some of the spaces that I was born into. And so I always felt outside, like just like I didn't belong. And so before becoming a midwife, I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm someone who has experienced firsthand what it feels like to be unseen, unheard,
Mhm.
not respected. Um,
Mhm.
and so this journey opened my eyes, and I've always thought like I want to serve, I want to do something. And it's interesting because my wellness center is built down the street from Lincoln High School, where I went to school at. Around the corner is where we lived. And the means in the area was absolutely nothing. It was desolate. And I didn't even think I'd come back here, but that's just the thing about the journey and the alignment and being in alignment. And
Mhm.
so honestly, what keeps me going is remembering, unlearning and remembering. It creates this fire inside of me. It's something
Mhm.
about like having these things taken from us. And then even as we work in them, being told the way we're doing them is wrong. So I'm here to prove them wrong. That
Mm.
this is ancestral. This does belong to us. This is our work. And by any means necessary, I'm going to do the work because
Mhm.
somebody has to. And so, yes, it isn't easy. Being a midwife, sometimes I'm like, who? Huh? And you experience so many things being a midwife. You do have to put on a counselor. If you really are doing this work the way you say you're doing this work, and in order for you to do it in a way that is non-judgmental, that is inclusive, you have to really take a real good look at yourself, your intra person, and ask yourself, am I really cut out to do the work I say I want to do? Or am I just doing this
Yeah.
work? So
Mhm.
for me, the fire keeps me going. The injustices keep me going. The things I see that are not right keep me going. The fact that we are rich and don't know it keeps me going. So because I'm remembering, I want everybody to remember. So I'm waking people up. So that is my job. And I love what I do. It's not even a job, a
Yes.
lifestyle.
Mhm.
It's a
Mhm.
lifestyle. I'm living it. So, and I'm gonna let that be that because I don't want to take up too much time, and I want to honor everybody that's on the platform. But thank you for allowing me to share that.
Thank you. We receive it. We receive it. Ashe.
I
Mama
shall.
Virgo, what motivates you? What keeps you going?
What keeps me going, honestly, is seeing the world, kind of like what Dr. Cheryl just shared, seeing everything around us, knowing that I have young daughters who I'm raising
Whew.
to go into this world. And also, much like what Keisha and Dr. Cheryl shared, my lived experience is a big part of why I began to show up in this work and why I continue to show up in this work. There is too much happening around us and to our sisters and to our brothers in general, to our family, to our collective, to sit back and not find ways to get involved, and to just allow time to pass us by and allow us to be eaten up by everything that's going on right now. We
Mhm.
have control, we have power, and that's why I continue to show up, is because I want to be able to live in that power, and I do live in that power, and I want to inspire and encourage my sisters and my brothers to do so.
Ashe. Love it. And Dr. Michelle.
Yes, the what motivates me is again is from life experiences. I suffered two miscarriages during over 30 some years ago. But then it also, now that I see, it's I'm more to the culture portion now because it's like we need to get back to the ways like was taught through us, through our, our generations. We need to bring this back. And I'm here like what Dr. Cheryl said, with our community, it looked like it's foreign, right? But our people, other people have been doing this for a long time. And we're the ones who are suffering through our, with maternal, deaths and this and stuff like that. So it's a cultural thing. Again, I'm on the drive to educate my people that this is a service, and if Medicaid is going to give you these many services, you need to take them. But then this is what it's all wellness. So it's all about wellness: your mind, your body, and your soul.
Yeah, y'all giving sermons tonight. I love it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys some different questions now. Ancestors telling me tap into different parts of you. So Keisha, I'm gonna start with you first and ask you, what advice would you give expectant parents when selecting a birth worker or when they're building their birth team?
Interview. Have your questions and don't interview one. My policy as a birth worker is that if you consult with me, you have to consult with two other doulas. And
Nice.
then I want you to sit down with who your support team is, if that's a partner, if that's the grandma, if it's the family, and have that conversation as a village. And then if you choose me, so be it. If not, I'm pretty well connected, so I'll give you more referrals if you need it. But I'm very big about interview your doulas, and then birth workers interview your clients, because everyone is not for you. And it's not a slight, right? So my second piece would stay off of social media. I'm just being real. I'm on social media, but I'm not one of those doulas. It's like, I don't, if they're popping on social media, I want you to dig a little bit. Why do they have all that time in the world to post everything? Second part about it is that if someone's posting your sacred moments, like if they have a tripod, I'm sorry. Dr. Cheryl, you said it best. This is ancestral. There is a spiritual journey that is happening in the birthing space, and it is not for everybody's eyes. It's just not. So, definitely that'll be my biggest advice to those who are seeking support. Interview, check their credentials, because if they on social media 24/7, listen, I try to have me a little social media following. Y'all, it is a job,
It's a
right?
job.
And I ain't got time for all that because I'm out here doing the work for real.
That part.
And so just be careful. Everything that glitter isn't gold. Sometimes the most low key, quiet, in the cut birth workers are the ones you need.
Hmm.
And recognizing that, and also I would also say referrals are interesting. Somebody may have not had the experience that they desired and blamed the birth worker. So don't always go off of that either. If, just interview for yourself, know for yourself, and then trust your inner being. Because trust me, that's one thing. Oh, y'all got me going. That's one thing about us as Black people. Y'all, we got to tune in for it. That is divine. And if you tap into it, your body will connect very
Hmm.
quickly with who is for you. It is not hard. So just trust your inner being when you are selecting your birth and your support team.
Ah, Shay. All right. Y'all giving some words tonight, words of wisdom. Dr. Cheryl, this question is for you. Thank you for that, Keisha. So, what does culturally responsive birth and postpartum care look like in practice? What does culturally responsive birth and you're muted and postpartum care look like in practice?
Sorry, I told you technology is not my friend. Uh, so culturally responsive birth and postpartum care means that we don't ask families to lose their identity, their traditions, their experiences, their values at the
Right,
door when
right.
they enter into our spaces, right? It means that we take the time needed to recognize that every family kind of comes from a different story, and those stories matter, right? And so in practice, culturally responsible care begins with listening first,
Mhm.
right? Before providing any of your recommendations, we got to know the person first, you
Mhm.
know? You know, even asking, are there beliefs or traditions around pregnancy and birth that you have that you want honored?
Mhm.
You know, who are the people that are important to you? What does
Mhm.
that need to look like in your space? You know, it means honoring the whole person,
Mm.
not just the pregnancy, because you have places that are set up for just the pregnancy, you know. It's deeper than that, you know. It means understanding birth physiologically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, culturally, relationally,
Mm.
right? Um, it looks like honoring informed choice, informed consent, autonomy. It looks like creating emotional safety, right? And also, as my sister Keisha said, recognizing the sacredness, and so not just the sacredness of the birth, but what that means to the families and their traditions. It's important to support the family system, right? Not just the mama, but the family system, right? And to be quite honest with you, it also looks like in the postpartum care for me, it looks like going beyond 6 weeks.
Mm.
It looks like going beyond 6 weeks because
Yeah.
now we're in a season of healing and transformation, you know, and understanding what that time really means sacredly in the sense of like, what does restoration truly look like during this time?
Mhm.
So for me, it's about how can I provide the care that honors the person in front of me rather than asking them to adapt to some arbitrary rule or suggestion, you know.
Mhm.
The goal is safe, right? And alive, definitely. But a lot of things that go on are unnecessary,
Mhm.
you know. And so to me, creating this space also creates trust, right? And it improves our outcomes.
Yes.
And it keeps
Yeah.
families safe, respected, and empowered, which is what we need, especially in a day and time like this. Thank you.
Ashe, ashe. Oh. Okay. Beautiful. I see we have a couple of people joining us tonight. If you have questions at any time, please just raise your hand or jump into the conversation. And to my other panelists, jump into the conversation. I want this to be free-flowing conversation. If you want to respond to what somebody's saying, feel free, jump right in. This is family here. This is family, okay? So let's move on to you, Mama Virgo. I have a question for you. So, what do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions that people have about doulas and midwives and birth workers?
I think sometimes people see them as the same or as like I think the best way I can describe the difference is like cousins, right? We work together, we are close, but we don't have the same roles. Midwives are certified to care for you in a quote unquote clinical or medical perspective. And I say quote unquote because there are different mediums into how midwives administer that medicine, right? And a birth worker is pretty much a doula, but as our when we speak about cultural, the term doula at times in Greek language, it refers to a slave. So there is a collective of women who have separated themselves from that term and they prefer to be called birth workers. So they serve you in birth and they may serve you in more than just, if you're going through a regular doula certification, most of the times they're going to train you in a way that is aligned with medical care, which is, okay because we do support people in the hospitals, but birth workers are more likely, if you see someone with that term attached to them, they're more than likely open to supporting you at home or at a birth center as well. And so I believe that that is the most common misconception that I've come across when asked about those terms is that they're all the same, that they do the same things, and there is a vast difference. You do not want I mean, my doula has a blood pressure cuff, right? But I wouldn't want her giving me clinical advice about my blood pressure, right? At that point, you have different, um, there's levels to it, right? And that is where safety comes into play, is being able to honor the different roles that each of these professionals, birth professionals, work in.
Love it. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Dr. Michelle, tell me how Black families can effectively advocate for themselves when they feel unheard during pregnancy or during labor or delivery or even postpartum. How can they advocate for themselves?
One, use your birth worker.
Mm.
Number one, because that's our space
Hmm.
to advocate for you. Secondly, ask questions. Give me the layman. Don't give me just the layman terms, but give me terms and terminology that I can think on. And why are these reasons? The reason why I say that because I just got through that challenge last week with a doctor. Your doula's here. You can get her to help you assist you, but her blood pressure rising, sir. Can you please check this again? So that's why I'm in there advocating for her. That is why I'm here. It's just not because here to calm her down, because that's his exact word. Oh, she's here to calm you down. No, sir. I'm the doula here to advocate for her. Right now, her blood pressure is high. I'll suggest, can you please recheck this, please, to see what is the issue. And again, just stand firm. If you don't know something, ask. Don't give up until you get the right answer that you need.
Okay. You brought up an interesting point, and so I want to throw this question out. Anybody feel free to grab it. How receptive have the allopathic medical workers been to allowing doulas into their spaces in the hospital? I saw your face, Keisha. How receptive have they been? Is it a challenge? Is this something we need to address on a deeper level through advocacy or legislation or through HPOC? Just tell me how receptive they've been to you guys. Anybody can take it.
Okay.
For me, I worked really hard on building a relationship with the hospitals in my local area and the birth center and the midwives. And the reason why is honoring that everyone's not going to birth at home. And so because that is a team that we have to work with, I really strive to build a relationship. And so I say that as a caveat as well to I hear their stories too. And I hear their stories of doulas coming in and stepping out of scope, doulas being disrespectful, turning off machinery, or all these other things. And so I guess because I stand in the gap of both sides, I want to say some of it is receptive, but some of it is the doula community damaging themselves as well. I honor midwifery. I honor the journey that midwives have taken to get to the level of the title of midwife. I am
Mm-hmm.
not sticking my hands in anyone's vagina and checking their cervix. I am not, you know what I mean? I'm not going in there and turning off Pitocin. I'm not going in there and telling them they have to birth naturally without an epidural. I give you your options. That is my job as a doula, to empower you to choose the birth that you feel is right for you, not to tell you what to do with your body. And I feel like some birth workers, some doulas have gotten into this work for some type of gratification of self. And so
Mhm.
they're going in and they're pushing their own beliefs onto our clients and they're causing more harm than good. So to any birth worker who hears this, stop. If you're doing the things I just mentioned, please stop because you're damaging the work and you're making it harder for us. Yes, we can pass every bit of policy that we want to pass. I'm in Florida. We were the first state to go Medicaid for doula. I was a part of that journey. Please understand there's legislation that is happening in my state right now because of the damage that some doulas have done by stepping out of scope.
Mm,
Okay.
mm.
We don't have a registry in Florida. Florida, to me, yeah, we have a lot of problems. We're pretty liberal in the birth world realm. Like we got traditional midwives down here. We're pretty little liberal. Um, but when those are out, those people are doing damage. They don't listen. Don't nobody elevate the good stories. And I'm gonna say it like that. The minute there's one bad story, we all bad. So just please, please do right. If you're a doula, please God, let the midwives be the midwives. And then we be the doulas. I'm gonna rub your back and hold you and do all those great things. But boo boo, no, ma'am, I don't know how far you are, and I ain't diagnosing nothing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe. For me, I built a team, so I have doulas that if for some reason they risk out and they need to go into the hospital, that the doulas can go with them. Okay. And the reason why I did that is because I realized as a midwife, there are some places you can't collaborate.
Mm.
I've gone into hospital with my client, and instead of them taking care of my client, they want to put me in the corner and quiz me and talk. I'm like, baby, look, she needs help now. Like, what are you doing? You know? And it's I to the point where one mama, it was during COVID, and they didn't know what was going on. But again, I'm a servant. I'm gonna serve. Okay. So this mama had gotten COVID, and she just didn't want to go to the hospital, and she went into labor early, and it was 30 after the 37 weeks. And I get there, I'm masked up, but I move a little differently, but I'm masked up. And this birth was really, it was supernatural. This baby shot out of her. I mean, her placenta wouldn't release. I mean, I'm the one that'll go all up in there. So I go up and I get placentas. It would not release. So whatever was going on with this COVID thing, it had a hold of her body. And she literally was just, when I got there, I was like, my God, sis, I had to rub her lips down, put some grease on them, Vaseline on them, before the paramedics come. I'm like, let's get you together. And she gets to the hospital and I'm riding home and I get a call from the the director of nursing, and she calls me from the client's phone. Get it? Like I can't make it up. And she's reaming me a new one. I sent her because the woman has a retained placenta. That is an emergency. That's something that's handled in the hospital. But I guess because the woman decided to have a home birth and then needs to go there, like this was the reprimand. This was the reprimand of that, right?
Mhm.
And I could hear my client in the background like crying out in pain. And so I told the lady, I said, whatever you need me to say to you, I will say, because I need you to hang up this phone and go take care of my client. She tells me, oh, she's not your client, she's my patient. I said, well, please hang up and go take care of your patient. So, and I also have heard, as Sister Keisha said, honestly, I haven't really necessarily personally, I hear it, but there's nothing in the community that I've heard of doulas going in and being that way. But you're absolutely right. We can't get anything done that way at all. Like at the end of the day, it's not about the doula, it's not about the doctor. Like, what is going on? What are we forgetting? What's going on here? That's ego.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's ego.
Mm-hmm.
So when I entered into the hospital space to freely collaborate, and I realized collaboration couldn't happen there, I said I would never enter into that space because it harms my client. I don't want to be responsible for that. So
Right.
I am good in my birth center. I save lives over here. I won't be responsible for going into a system. Like I'm allergic to the hospital. I'm gonna be real honest with you. The bells, the thing, the smell, the looks of it, that's just not my thing. I'm more holistic. I need some flowers. I need to smell some incense. I need some oils going. I need some music going. Like this is so to go in there is already painful for me. But I would make the sacrifice because it's really not a sacrifice if you get what you
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
But I'm not gonna go in there and add because I got other people to serve. You're not gonna tell me who I am when I walk in that space. I'm gonna walk out and let you know who I am. And I'm gonna keep working with these people out here in this community that need me. But I also, here's my thing too, though, because there's so many people that don't know about midwifery. Why?
Right.
You gave a question that I believe it was my sister Keisha that answered it so beautifully. One other thing I want to say to families is this: know yourself, know who you are. So when you walk into spaces, you know how to advocate for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I intentionally don't talk about numbers and stuff over the phone with people who want to interview. No, you come in here, you sit with me. Because you need to see me, you need to feel me, you need to know me, and I need to see, feel, and know you too. Because two can't walk together if they
They
don't
said
agree.
that. Right. Right.
And it's about alignment. That's
Mm.
just the thing. When we get out of alignment,
Yeah. Yep.
nothing's gonna feel good. I don't know about you, but my body get out of alignment. I'm gonna hit that chiropractor quick. I'm uncomfortable. So we need to get in alignment. We need to quit letting people tell us things and start educating ourselves.
Mhm.
It all comes back to us coming back
Yeah.
because this is where spirit is.
Right.
Ashe, thank you again.
I say.
Mm-hmm.
You
Child,
know,
I see you unmuted yourself. Come
that,
on.
she just hit the nail on it because that's so the experience. Like, when I had an interview at a major health department, and all of these folks were sitting in there. Then this is the birthing team, right? This is a birthing who does the WIC program. It does everything. They do the healthy mommies. As one of those individuals sat around a table and said to me, you don't want to go to the hospital. They don't like birthing plans. They don't like this. And I'm like, I gave the answer to the question to the room. Why is that? No one has checked. You haven't talked to your health officer for the collaboration. And this very hospital that they said to me that I have no problem with. When I come, they say, "Oh, she's the doula. Let's let her send her right on up." I don't have no problem. Work very well with the nurses and everything. But again, I know my scope now. I know my scope. And the other thing is, sometimes we do have to put them on check because they don't know us. They don't know, understand. Look, Keisha, move forward. They don't know us because this is what I got last Thursday. Oh, well, she done had the baby. Oh, so just because she had the baby, miss, but we also do postpartum too. So I am here directly to usher her through her postpartum. She said, "Oh, well, I didn't know that." Well, thank you. You have been virtually touched and educated right now on what it's just again, it's just education both wide. You know, as they say, coffee with the cops. Well, have a donut with the doulas. Then maybe you can find out what we do.
Yeah.
Name of a program. HPOC needs to start that
Listen, I'm
program.
here for it.
On us with doulas.
I'm
I love
here
that.
for it.
Mm.
Yes, yes. And I'm gonna add
That's
to
not
that.
yours, is it, Michelle? That's
Huh?
not yours, is it? That's not your program, is it? Because HPOC's still in there right now. You're gonna see the other website. I'm about to
I'm
contact some
part of
people.
HPOC, so hey, you can
Okay.
add. I'm
Like,
part of
right.
HPOC.
Listen,
I'm good. I'm good. What's for HPOC is for me.
That's right.
exactly. Freely give, freely receive.
I
That's it.
also wanted to add trust the doulas. We
Yeah.
have walked the path with them. So if we're telling you like, hey, like the way you touch your mama ain't really gonna rock with her, trust us. Honor who we are in that space. Cause we know them intimately. Like I tell my clients, I'm your girlfriend for the stay, honey. So we gonna get real close. Birth is an intimate process. And so when we're in the medical system, trust us. Look to
Mhm.
us for to fill the gap that you if mama's blood pressure raising because baby they don't walk in the room, trust us if we saying take him for a walk real quick, like trust us. And so I just want to add that little piece to it because I feel like sometimes we're seen as less than and trust us. Trust. I promise a good doula has walked. A good doula has been with that family for a while and they know the ins and outs and they can tell you things that can help. Dr. Cheryl, you said it best. Birth is literally spiritual. There is a transformation that is happening during that time. And the slightest thing can throw it all off.
And you see
Mhm.
it, don't you? You see it.
I do.
You see it. I see it happening, and I'm like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, don't let this be a transfer.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it's just like, boom, there's a transfer. It's like, it's important to sit still with it. Listen, y'all, I'm on fire, so I'm gonna mute myself.
I want to go back to some of the things you guys said before we move on. I have a two-part question. So when we talk about doulas stepping out of scope, is that a problem that's attributed to the training they received from their schooling? And I know that schooling, so I use that term loosely, but is that a problem that should be addressed at that level, or are they getting this information in their training programs and just not abiding by what they're taught? Let's start with that. What do you guys think?
So I know as you know that I'm coming up with a training program in the next couple weeks. One of the things that I'm implementing in the introductory is what is your scope of practice? We certain things you do and certain things you do not. Then also there is an agreement that you're gonna sign because you're not gonna make mama's healing sound for you look bad. I'm sorry that you are practicing out your scope. So you're gonna get that practical understanding, But then again, it could be that some is not taught because I ain't gonna mention some. I was in a meeting before this. They paid money for a national educating for birth worker program. They didn't even get the hands-on experience.
Yeah, Keisha and I were talking about that not long ago.
They didn't even get the hands-on experience. So here I am. I'm saying, well, hey, when I go through the process, because you guys are in a cohort, we partnering, you'll be able to come get the hands-on experience. You'll be able to do some rebozo. You'll be able to know how to do some breath work, how the hands-on experience. So yeah, it could come from both, but again, you need to put that in alignment on your scope of practice. If you dig that in and you iterate that every week, it should be taken account. But then again, people gonna be people. They're gonna do what they want to do. People gonna do what they want to do. But trust me, when you come from this one, it'll be on you because it won't. That's not what I trained you. Because in my curriculum, it says you know your scope of practice.
Yeah, I'm tried to mute, but yeah, we had that conversation. I'm an educator by trade, so I'm gonna say that before I start what I'm about to say.
Mhm.
Teachers have to have a certain level of continued education to renew their license.
Period.
Okay.
Yep.
Period. That is a period on the end of that. I believe in mentorship. I'm what they call an OG doula. When I got into this work, there were no mentors. We were out here figuring this out. And there are times where I reflect back on my earlier births and I'm often like, wow, did I cause harm? Or did because of things that I didn't know at that time.
Mm.
I am a mentor. My mentor packages are not that expensive. If you're going to invest in a training, invest in a mentor to guide you through this work. I can't tell you what training to choose, but what I will tell you is if that training is online, like Dr. Michelle said, and you don't have hands on, find you an in person.
Come on, Keisha. Come on. Come on.
Find you an in person. Have somebody take that rebozo and put it around your bottom and shake that tree. So you know what it feel like.
Mm.
Have somebody give you that counter pressure.
Yes.
Have somebody put you on a ball. Have someone sit down and do one-on-one motivational interviewing with you. Baby, trust me when I
Yes.
tell you it's something
Hey.
about that in person. It ain't
Yeah.
all about the rebozos and the balls
No. Or the peanuts.
or the peanuts. Sometimes it's about how do you ask a hard question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the
Mm-hmm.
people ask me all the time, how do you get your clients to open up? First and foremost, I'm relatable. First and foremost, I'm not here to judge you. I am not God. I'm not here to put any you in any type of position. But what I don't know will hinder this birth. So I need you to be 100 with me.
Mhm.
If you're struggling with substance misuse,
Huh?
talk to me so that we
Mhm.
can talk about what this may look like if we're in the hospital system. So we can plan,
Yeah.
right? So when baby's born, we got grandma and them sitting right there and we ain't got to worry about the system. Up, baby going with grandma, and like
Exactly.
let's it's a lot that goes into that, but those are things that are taught hands-on. Those are things that are guided during mentorship. A lot of times people get these certifications and I'm gonna do my 3 births and my readings and I'm certified. Okay, great.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right. And then
Mhm.
for those, I'm gonna say this because it's happening down here in Florida, so I'm gonna speak on it. Hey, listen, new doulas, new birth workers. Hi. If you ain't got more than 200 or 300 births underneath your belt, please don't be out here talking about you mentors and you training folk.
Mm.
Sit down, please.
Mm.
Well, Keisha, see, now you just keep on stepping on my toes, sis.
I'm sorry.
Now you got me back in here. So here's my thing. Yes, Sister Michelle, Sister Keisha, and one of the things that get me, and Sister Keisha, you really, this is why I'm saying something, because you said it about yourself. You was like, this is what I do. If I'm doing, this is where I'm at, right?
Mhm.
Listen, the problem across the board with everything, whether it's birth work, whether it's motherhood, fatherhood, sisterhood, friendhood, whatever it is that we all miss the important principle, and that's accountability.
So six speaks.
That's accountability. So birth workers hold a tremendous amount of trust. What are we trusting you with? If you tell me you a doula, I trust that if you don't have your skills, you're going to go get them, like you said. There's nothing wrong with sharpening the iron. Or
Mhm.
do you want to be dull? Let's be real. See, I don't, and I don't have a filter, so I'm just going to be frank and just say what it is. But see, accountability begins with self-awareness.
Right.
So, Miss Sister Keisha, you said, okay, tell me what's going on. We can't do something about something we don't know nothing about.
Right.
And baby, what's done in the dark is gonna come to the light. At least let me have the flashlight, ma'am. Let me have the flashlight so we can get a good angle. We have to know ourselves, our
Mhm.
strengths, our limitations, our experiences, and our wounds. Because going back to what we were talking about earlier, why people operating outside of their scope, because they're
Mhm.
operating from a place of unhealedness.
Yeah.
Because Iwapele, good character, will take you a long way. Good character won't allow you to show up and say you can do something that you cannot do.
Gotcha. That part.
Good character won't allow you to hustle money out of folks. Because good character lets you know you ain't got to chase money. Money gonna chase you if you do the right thing. But spirit can't give something to somebody that ain't doing what he asked you to do. See, people say, God, let your will be done, but you got to surrender yours first. We don't want to do that because it takes effort. We want to
Hmm.
say, I want to manifest this. So I tell my mamas, you want to manifest a healthy birth, it starts with your prenatal visit. It starts with whether or not you're going to get chiropractic care. If you're doing your exercises, if you're drinking your water, because I'm gonna take accountability for what I signed up for, but I'm also gonna hold you accountable for what you signed up for too. So yeah, now you got to be real to walk through the door. That's why I say, come sit down with me in front of me.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? And so absolutely everything that has been said and listen, at the end of the day, accountability sometimes means just simply saying, I may not have all the answers.
Right.
Let me go get it. Then we out eating. Then we out quit coveting. And then we coveting lies.
Right.
And then let's be clear, we can deceive other people, but baby, when you go and sit down with yourself, you cannot lie to yourself. So I'm gonna say it again, come back to you. Know who you are. And if you asking for something, understand that success equals sacrifice. And I'm gonna say it again, is it a sacrifice if it's really successful? So again, I yield.
That's the word. We're gonna have some sermons up in here tonight, baby. I'm here for it. Love it. Don't forget, you guys can ask questions if you have any. Jump in at any time. But I want to know. Oh, I see somebody. Taquasia. Did I say it correctly?
Yes, you did.
All right.
Um, I am a new doula. I'm in Seattle, Washington. I'm a new doula. I'm a postpartum doula. I have had a few clients so far. I would like to know, I know this is like every single doula is like, every single new doula will ask this question, but like, what is something that you wish you knew? And Keisha, I do agree with the sentiment of like when you're a new doula, you don't like really know like what to like if like what you're doing is like supportive of to the client or like if you like cause any harm to the client. So like I also have those same thoughts. Like this like anybody can answer this question. Like what do you wish that you someone would have told you when you first started your doula journey?
Nice question. I love that. Thanks, Taquasia.
Oh,
You're welcome.
I would say that everyone won't be for you because again, I do like Medicaid stuff, right? And they'll send us through, they'll say you a match, but then you got a difficult one who won't even get on the camera. I don't feel like getting on the camera
Mm,
today. So, boom. Or the other instance is you be in the hospital and, you know, the client is just disrespectful all over. So, what do? I'm here to advocate, but then you have to switch the room around. So I wish I had got a little bit more in that because again, as a server, you want to serve everybody, right? But like I go back to what Dr. Cheryl said, to meet, you know, with the Medicaid, it does give you a little window, but then you have to be so ready. To be honest, I would love to have more private clients. I'm just to be to be honest, I would love to have more private clients because it can be hard with the population because again you got a lot going on, as Keisha said, you're dealing with a lot of social determinants of health. Some of it can waste your time. You can get on a call, they don't even show up. So
mm,
and it's very disappointing.
what? Yeah.
You can get on a call, they don't even show up or they don't respect your time. So it's and then when they say that don't get into your feelings. Well, yeah, I'm gonna get in my feelings. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get into my feelings because I'm here to do a service and it makes me feel like it's a disservice. So that's what I would say. Just mentorship too. That's a big part.
Mama Virgo, won't you take a stab at this one? Bring you in.
I actually would love to answer that, and I want to go back to the question previously because I took two trainings. I'm actually going through my second training right now. My first training was through somebody on Instagram. It was completely virtual, and I got a lot of great information, but it was solely focused on holistic and intuitive birth work. I wish at that time, which is why I decided to go through a second doula training because I want to be a competent doula. I wish at that time in that training I had received from that specific training because it was so in depth and so informational and it informs the work that I do today. But I wish I had received, and this kind of goes into what Dr. Michelle said as well. And what Keisha said as well, there are a lot of us who are choosing to birth in the hospital because they ultimately, I feel like our culture is a little bit disconnected from the ancestral practices. So it's a great thing to get all of that information, to be someone who utilizes that yourself, but also to be able to be a bridge for people who may not understand that. Versus like what Dr. Keisha said, the collective of birth workers who are kind of forcing these ideas of natural and home birth down your throat for people who are not ready for that, and that can lead to a lot of emergency. I am going through a donor certification right now. I am also learning that not necessarily anybody can become a donor trainer, but donor doesn't just have one training because there are multiple different trainers who are hosting these classes, some of which may not, like they said, receive that hands-on session. I'm grateful to have landed with a trainer who is local and who is having a hands-on session. A lot of the experience I got was from being one-on-one with clients, and just like it was shared and like you said in your question, having those thoughts of like, am I being helpful or am I being harmful, right? At the end of the day, knowing myself and like Dr. Cheryl said, having that self-awareness and the integrity to show up in this work helps a lot. And that's something that honestly nobody can teach you, really, right? Like, life just kind of positions you, and you position yourself with your heart posture to be able to show up in this integral way. But I wish that that was something that I was informed about before I began the work, right? Is that there's not just one type of birth, there's no agenda that we necessarily have to push. We have to have the heart to show up for these families. We're showing up for mama. Mama is our client, but also we are doing cultural collective work. We're healing mom, we're healing grandma, we're healing dad, we're healing the siblings who are witnessing these experiences. And so preparing yourself and putting yourself in that position to lead that work head on is something that honestly no doula training can teach you, but that ultimately you have to prepare yourself for. And sometimes they don't, necessarily talk about that. It is a lot of information, and you kind of just get out in the field and just start, for lack of a better term, we just start experimenting, and I hate that that's the way that it is, but unfortunately there are a lot of doulas, and I'm grateful that I'm not one, because I kind of know how to sit back and observe, right? And show up. I'm not like show up when necessary. I feel like something about me just kind of, I just kind of know when to show up and how heavy I need to hit. Um, I think that is something that I wish was really explained to me, and that I'm learning now. And because I've been taking a break, because I've had two babies. So now that I'm stepping back into this from a space of like, I've lived through this. I've had two hospital births. I've had three births with doulas. I have four children in total. So now that I'm kind of stepping into this space as like somebody who has swam in the gutter and back to the clear sea. Well, it may not be that clear yet, but we swam to the sea. We get married to the clear water. That there are just some things that you might not be taught, period, in your certification. But like Keisha said, finding a mentor, finding somebody who you can walk with is extremely important, because we are not meant to do this work alone. Birth is communal. It is a community practice. It is something that, as birth workers, as birth supporters, we also need support, right? Have your backup doulas, have your team network. Don't just put it on yourself and walk out here feeling like it all has to be on you. Connect with the women on this call. Connect with other doulas in your community, other birth workers in your community. Find different events that they may be at. Find different spaces. I was grateful to have met with and worked with Dr. Cheryl. Find people who you can be in community with, who will teach you, who will educate you, and who will support you on your journey, because it's not easy, and you should not walk this journey alone at all. It will make it harder on you. And we are human, so we will get emotional. We are a lot of doulas are moms who show up because of lived experience. So it can
Right.
sometimes be difficult to separate ourselves from what we're witnessing, right? So also being able to get in your emotion, know that your lived experience informs what you do, if that's something that you've experienced, but that you don't have to attach yourself to someone's outcome. You have the power to transmute. That is the beauty of being a living divine vessel, is that you can transmute any and every experience that you have. And so, yeah, I'm complete. Thank you.
Ashe.
Hey. Mm.
Ashe. Oh.
Anybody else want to answer her question?
I would just say boundaries. Everything else has been said. For me, I think that I wished that my boundaries when I first started were stronger. I was out here just to serve, so I was just serving. But your boundaries, your call times, what time your phone, your postpartum, so boundaries, strong boundaries. You are not their maid. Strong boundaries. Okay, strong boundaries. You are there. I'm a strong believer that postpartum is the opportunity to teach. If you're not educating something during postpartum, then you are officially a nanny. Boundaries. Okay.
So I have a question. Um, after listening to all of you speak, is being a birth worker, is that something that is, we're in the age of what I call social media healers. We have all these social media healers out there on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, wherever else, whatever they're doing. And they, like you said, took a Saturday class and now they, professor such and such and healer
Expert,
extraordinaire and all these
expert.
things. But for when it comes to being a birth worker, is this a calling because there's something already innately in genuine, organic called birth workers, or is it something that can be taught? Anybody can learn
I think it's a calling that, and I'll say this because I'm gonna go back to Dr. Sherrill. Was something she said that I was up here. I wanted to jump up because I've been. I always thought that too, that I was different, and I was always here. They always just say you wise before your age. You know, you wise to be such a. I knew that was my calling, and always was the mother hen, like all my cousins and stuff like that. I mean, anybody can be taught. I mean, you go to school for through K through 12, right? But
it.
there's a difference between being taught and being a call because when you know you call, you chosen. And like she said, if you stay in line, all of that'll add up together. Now, that's just how I feel. I think it's a calling. It cannot be remiss, especially if you're a server. So I just throw my hands up. I just take the call. I just answer the call.
Yeah, I say.
Um, I kind of wanted to speak on that. I think it's both. I think it's
Okay.
um Mama Virgo spoke to it. You can learn the things and go out there and do it. You can. But honestly, where are you doing it from makes it a calling. So I can go out here and drive trucks, but if I don't like driving trucks and I just need to go out here and make some money, I'm gonna be complaining every time I get in that truck. But I gotta eat.
Mm,
However, if I like the way that wheel feel, and it's something that settles my nervous system when I sit back in that seat, then I'm called to be on that road,
mhm.
right? So it's a difference. It definitely, I mean, I think that those two things can be true,
Okay.
right? A calling is not just you choosing. It's something that chooses you because this birth work, it ain't easy or for the faint heart. And as a midwife, what I wish somebody would have told me is that everybody is not my client. It would have saved me a lot of heartache
Mm,
about births that the baby's born, honey, they done grew up. I see them on Instagram, they living their best life, and I'm still reliving the trauma that I experienced from their birth. Let's be clear about what we're talking about. That's why it's important for me to be aligned. I'm not chasing money, money chasing me. So I'm gonna wait for it to find me. I'm no longer going out here and pick me, pick me. I was already chosen. Here I am. This is what I have. Because guess what? Some people may fear rejection, but I know me. So you're just telling me you don't want goodness. And I'm not sitting here fluffing and bluffing. Like it takes a lot for me to sit here and have good character. It takes a lot of sacrifice of my own fleshly desires. But if I say I'm who I am and I say I want to do what I want to do, then girl, right? And that way I don't have to live in ego. I can just flow in
yeah.
spirit.
Ah, that part.
And I
That part.
yield.
I'm with the ladies. Um, for me, I definitely feel like it is something inside of you that calls you home. When I look at research, right? Remember, I'm the nerd on the cross. So when I look back at history, Everybody wasn't a midwife. Everybody wasn't a doula. Everybody wasn't a birth assistant, but we were all within community. You had the chefs, you had the baby wrapper, you had the ones who made the room, you had the ones who cleaned, right? So you don't have to be a birth worker to be a part of the village. What is your calling? My sister is a chef, always has been. I remember my very first hospital visit. My sister made me my favorite meal when I got home. That was her way of loving me. I've always been the mother. I've always been the mother. I've always been the care. I've always been the one that filled. And I've always been different. And I was different because I feel different. I'm different because for me, relationships is deep. So I can't go out here attaching myself to everybody. You can't ruin what's my light. So yeah, no, I think it is something, it calls you home. I went into education, I told y'all that. And birth was right here the whole time. Like, come home, baby. Come home. And when I finally made the decision to do this full time, I have been one of the happiest I've been in a very long
Mm,
time. When I finally just said, I'm going home. And I am
mhm.
home. I am home and I ain't going nowhere else. This is a life sentence. I'm home.
That's beautiful. I love it. Okay. Just one more question and then your final thoughts after you answer this question. Just we got to bring it full HPOC. So what or are there any traditional or ancestral practices that you found particularly beneficial in your line of work, especially when dealing with Black maternal care? Are there any ancestral or traditional practices we've called in from Yoruba or from ancient Kemet or from Big Mama back on the plantation, anywhere that you found particularly beneficial?
It's the for me it's affirmations because when my clients come, because in that time empowerment, you have to really empower them because they'll get weak. They'll say, after they tell me I don't want no type of pain, I want to do this naturally. So beforehand, what I usually do is I have them pick out their own affirmation. So when they get that weak, I'm flashing that up there to them. And then I'm also actually just telling them, yo, you are strong, you got this, push, push, call in the ancestors if you have to. One of the other things do that I actually do a rain stick. Also, like when the birth, after the birth, they put the music on, but I do the rain stick and a prayer. So that's some of the things.
Right. Love it.
So, for me, there's a couple of things. One of them is like clearing energy, inviting energy in. Um, One of my favorite though is the closing of the bones during
Mhm.
postpartum. Because as a mother, we wear many, many hats. And my goal is to remind that person just to come back to herself. Because you can't give out what you don't have. So taking out the time to see herself outside of all these many, many things, a mother, a wife, or a partner, or whatever that thing may be, to be able just to have time for her, acknowledge her, who she is. And then even if she's wearing those hats, who she is in that space. You know, it's a traditional postpartum ceremony. I believe Latin America, possibly. I have to go back and do a little bit more digging. But it's a beautiful time in which me and my birth team come together, get some rebozos, and just kind of go through and snug her in. There may be
Mhm.
some down bath meditation. There may be some smudging. It just depends on that particular journey with that mother and what she needs to call back, right? And it's just a beautiful. I told him that I'm getting one. Like I want one, and I ain't having no baby. Baby, that is long over for me, you know. But we all deserve to come back to ourselves, and it's just a beautiful symbolic way of saying never forget you. You are
Mhm.
the source. You're the
Yeah.
source. And if everybody plugs into the source has to be strong. And you can't do that without getting rest. And rest is a resistance. And that's something a Black woman don't get to hear. Not a Black one. So yeah, I come on, rest, sit down somewhere, be still, see you. You're more than those things. Yeah, come back to you. And I'm always going to remind women to come back to themselves. And I,
And I want to add to that, and I know that Dr. Cheryl spoke on this earlier, extended postpartum care. It is more than
Yeah.
just 6 weeks, and the closing of the bone ceremony is also amazing. Yoni steaming, having a complete ceremonial just moment after you have your baby is extremely important. And this is something that our ancestors practiced because, like we've mentioned throughout this call, birth is more than just physical. Birth and pregnancy, conception, life is more than just something that our bodies move through and do. We are spirit, we are light before we are anything else. We are breath first, we are spirit first. And with any pregnancy, any conception, anytime we don't move without the permission of spirit. We don't move without the ushering of breath. And so that is something that, as as a whole, when it comes to birth world, when it comes to reclaiming our birth, that I definitely want to remind people of. It is a spiritual process before it is a physical process. Children are, what do they say in the Bible? What do they say in Yoruba wisdoms? We were known before we were manifested here physically.
Mm.
And I and that extends into the extended postpartum care, because not only is mama healing and coming back to herself, but baby is also coming back to this world, or coming to this world newly. And baby, sometimes has different things that they're going through, whether it is an improper latch, whether it is, they might experience different colic or things. I believe, it is my philosophy, that physical things are manifestations of spirit, right? And so when we're able to calm ourselves down, when we're able to heal ourselves after care during pregnancy, we can see those things alleviate. We can
Mm.
see those things refresh, restore, and find balance. And so those are ancestral practices that are key to birth, to pregnancy, for Black and Brown people, like Dr. Cheryl said, for our Latin, for our Indigenous, for our Native American siblings. That is something that is important to continue to move forward with in life.
Love it. I love it. Thank you.
All right. So when you asked that question, my ancestor came and sat right next to me.
Mm.
And so that's what took me a minute to gather myself. Um, I learned about the spiritual walk, and I'm going to honor her name, Beverly Jenkins. And one of the things that I remember most was A, she would cleanse a space. And B, it was something about her hug and her hold and her tone. And that is often what I hear back from my clients. In my weakest moment, it was your touch. It was that whisper in my ear. It was that hold. So for me, that's my biggest gift, is I can hold you and bring forth something in you that needs to be touched in that moment so that you can have the birth outcome that you desire. And so for me, I think I know, because she literally sat next to me and I was like, all right, cool, that's what we're rolling with, right? I do a lot more, but for me, being able to bring forth what's needed in that moment and give you that strength, I think is the greatest tool I have in my doula bag.
All right, now that she's made me cry, we'll go ahead and touch my whole spirit. Sister Jenkins, welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Let's welcome Sister
Yes.
Jenkins. Yes. I know, you talked about crying because As I'm sitting here now, and I'm getting receiving something from my client from last week. Um, and that'll go right into the segue. Wow, it's got me sitting up here. Get ready to cry. Hey, Michelle, I really just want to thank you again for all you done and all you helped with during the biggest day of my life. Words cannot tell you how much we both just appreciate your efforts and all you help with. Even those little techniques that you showed me how to help my spouse through during the pain. You always got my phone number, and I'll be happy to help you anytime. You're the best, and we couldn't ask for anyone this entire process, and we couldn't got through it without your help. We're forever grateful for you and for you this. We both love you to pieces, and I hope that you continue on this journey of being a great healer that you are. So that's when you know you in your calling.
He don't have a problem with reminding you either.
Hey, mm, mm.
Mm, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. Ashe. So, thank you, ladies. You guys have given me so much to work with in terms of next steps for HPOC's agenda, right? And making sure this space, our voices are heard in this space and honored in this space, right? In the Black maternal wellness space. So, thanks again. And I'm gonna give each of you a chance to give your last thoughts, something you want our participants who are joining us tonight and those who are gonna watch the replay, any last words you want to share with them. Most of them probably new doulas or considering becoming doulas or birth workers or midwives. What words of wisdom do you want to share with them and your final thoughts? And Michelle, we'll start with you.
Just know that you are bringing part of the tree of the life. You are a branch to the seed that has been given.
Virgo.
Um, this is just kind of what I was thinking the whole time, honestly. Find you a Keisha near you. Find you a case advocate near you. And if she's not near you, connect with her. Or you know what I'm saying? Find somebody that as a doula, as a mama, as a father, as a grandma, somebody who can educate you and walk you through what birth is, what pregnancy is, what that looks like. That I feel like that's important. Who I don't know exactly how to word this because I don't know Keisha directly. So, but the first thing that I was going to say before I started speaking was find you a childbirth education class, right? Because I think that that is super important. Doula should take a CBE. Most times that should be required with your certification. Get you a CBE. Go back to the CBE every single time. Find you somebody who's trustworthy that you can go in and you know whether their CBE is the same every single time, you can go and you can get the information that you need that that refreshes your work and your practice. I think that that's super important. Even as a mom, I have 4 babies. No one pregnancy, no one birth was the same at all. None of the births that I've supported have ever been the same. There's always something new. There's always something different that shows up. To be able to not walk in, like we've mentioned, that ego or in that personal, like that personal space, find that. So that way you can really show up to your birth, to births that you support fully and more present without the attachments of other ideas impeding upon you. And be free. Be free in what you do, in who you are. If you're a mama and you're showing up to births, be free in who you are. Let the doctors get to know you. I think that's one thing that sometimes we kind of just walk into doctors' offices and we're just like, oh, I'm going to do what they say. Let the doctor get to know you the way that you allow for your doula to get to know you, the way that you allow for your midwife to get to know you. Get to know your midwives, get to know your local midwives. They do more than just support births. They're out here uplifting the entire community. right? They're supporting families, sometimes seeing the family 2 years after they had the baby. You know what I'm saying? So continue to get to know your community. That's important. We need each other. And the way that this world is going, we need each other.
For sure.
Um, what I would say is, as a midwife, I don't just attend births. I witness transformation. And so because of that, I am determined to restore trust, reclaim wisdom, and create a legacy of care that will impact generations to come. Thank you. And as birth workers, I want to encourage you to do the same. Be accountable. Be accountable. First and foremost, show up for yourself. Be accountable. In that way, we'll have what we say we want, right? And so don't just attend births. Join me. Join me in restoring the trust and reclaiming, wisdom. Again, we talked about it. You don't know, go find out, right? Find you a Keisha. Find you a birth class, a training, all the things that was said, and Mama Virgo said it the best. Show up as your true self, but also ensure that true self is your best self. Ashe.
There you go. Keisha, final thoughts.
First, Dr. Cheryl, Mama Virgo, thank you. I really appreciate the shout outs. And just so you guys know, I have never met them in person. This is my first time. But I think Spirit put me right behind Dr. Cheryl for a reason. Mine is to all the birth workers, remember that you are now a part of this child, this family's story. You are a thread in their blanket of life, honey. So remember that. Remember that when they go to tell their child their birth story, your name is going to be a part of that. When they show the pictures, there's sometimes you may be in those pictures. That is a heavy, 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 heavy weight, but it is an honor. Hold that close and remember, please remember that in everything that you do. You are a part of that story forever. No matter if we're there for 6 weeks, if we're there for 4, if you're there for a year, 2 years, you are forever a part of their story. So whatever you do, do your best to do no harm.
Received. All right. This was absolutely amazing and informative. And very quickly, before I forget, please tell the people how they can contact you. Keisha, just hop back on. How can the viewers contact you should they so desire?
At Kate the Advocate on all platforms, KAY the Advocate on all platforms.
Bam, Dr. Cheryl.
Tree of Life, bcw.com on Instagram, and the Tree of Life Wellness Center.com website.
Received. Mama Virgo.
You can find me on Instagram at Mama Virgo 825. That's August 25th, just in case anybody, wants to know what my birthday is. Or why I'm called Mama Virgo, because I'm big Virgo. Or you can email me owner@mamavirgo.com.
Nice. And Dr. Michelle.
Yes, you can find me at upfrontmindbodysoul.com, or you can reach out to me on my Instagram, which is upfrontmindbody.
Perfect. I see them writing it down. And you can find HPOC at the HPOC on Instagram. And you can come to our website, hpoc-united.com. If you're not a member, you should be. We support all practitioners who participate in a variety of modalities. If you're a practitioner of color, we want to address the health disparities using natural, holistic, and culturally relevant healing practices. And if you are a practitioner who falls into that category, Holla at HPOC. We are building infrastructure to make sure we're supported, seen, heard, and valued and respected in these holistic streets. Again, shout out to the Boppy Company. We thank you for your support and being an ally in the Black maternal wellness space. Thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. Thank you, Sister Queens, for all your wisdom. It was truly an honor to sit at your feet this evening. So thank you again. And until next time, peace and blessings.